England walked off the pitch with a point. But Jude Bellingham walked into the BBC interview with something much more powerful: honesty. After a tense, frustrating, goalless World Cup draw against Ghana, Bellingham was named player of the match. For many players, that would be a moment to smile, accept the praise, and move on. But not this time. Because instead of celebrating the award, Bellingham looked almost uncomfortable holding it. And then, live on the BBC, he said what many fans did not expect. He admitted he did not think he deserved it. And in a night where England dominated possession but failed to find the breakthrough, Bellingham's reaction became one of the biggest talking points after the final whistle. This was not just about a 0-0 draw. This was about frustration, respect, pressure, and a young England star showing his true colors when the cameras were rolling. England came into the match against Ghana looking to build momentum after their opening World Cup result. But from the first whistle, this was never going to be simple. The Three Lions had plenty of the ball. They controlled large parts of the game. They pushed forward, they tried to create openings, and they searched for the one moment that could break Ghana's resistance. But Ghana were organized, disciplined, compact, and extremely difficult to break down. This was not a game full of flowing, attacking football. It was a match shaped by defensive structure, patience, and frustration. England kept probing, but clear chances were rare. The longer the match went on, the more the tension grew. Every misplaced pass felt heavier. Every blocked attack added to the pressure, and every minute without a goal made Ghana's defensive plan look stronger. Then came England's golden chance. Late in the game, Harry Kane had the opportunity to snatch the winner from close range. It was the kind of chance England fans were waiting for. The kind of moment that can turn a difficult performance into 3 points. But Kane blazed the ball over the crossbar. And with that miss, England's best opportunity disappeared. The final whistle confirmed it. England 0, Ghana 0. A frustrating night for the Three Lions. A huge defensive effort from Ghana, and a result that left England with questions, even though their World Cup campaign remained firmly alive. Then came the player of the match announcement. Jude Bellingham had been given the award, but his reaction was not what people expected. Rather than proudly accepting the honor, Bellingham appeared embarrassed. He knew England had not produced their best attacking display. He knew Ghana had defended brilliantly. And when he stepped in front of the BBC cameras, he did not hide behind easy answers. He said he did not deserve the award. In his words, it probably should have gone to one of Ghana's players because of how well they defended. That one answer said a lot. Bellingham was frustrated, yes. But he was also fair. He recognized the opponent. He gave credit where it was due, and he refused to pretend that England's performance had been better than it was. He admitted it had been hard to get into the game. He thanked the people who voted for him. But again, he made it clear Ghana's defenders deserved huge respect. And then he summed up the familiar feeling around England in a way that many fans instantly understood. He called it second game fever with England. Win the first match, look strong, build expectation, then draw the second. For England fans, that line hit close to home. Because this was not a disaster, but it was not convincing either. It was the kind of result that keeps the campaign moving, while still leaving supporters nervous about what comes next. Back in the BBC studio, Joe Hart reacted to Bellingham's interview, and he immediately understood the emotion behind it. Hart said Bellingham was frustrated. He could see it in the way he spoke. He could see it in the way he carried himself. The emotion from the match was still inside him. That emotion, Hart explained, is part of what makes Bellingham such a great player. He plays with intensity. He feels the game. He wants to win badly. And when England failed to break through, that frustration is visible. Hart even pointed to a moment near the end of the first half, saying Bellingham had gone in strongly on an opponent, a sign of just how much fire was inside him during the match. But Hart also praised something important. He liked the way England's players gave Ghana credit. Because Ghana were not lucky. They defended with strength, they stayed together, they absorbed pressure, and they did exactly what they needed to do to leave Boston with a point. For England, though, the questions remain. Why did all that possession lead to so little? Why did the attack struggle to find rhythm? And can they afford another performance like this when the knockout stages arrive? That is where the tension now shifts. Because even after the draw, England are still in a strong position. With 4 points from their first 2 games, the Three Lions are virtually guaranteed a place in the knockout rounds. But finishing the group strongly still matters. England can still claim top spot if they beat Panama in their final group match, as long as Ghana do not upset Croatia and overturn England's goal difference advantage. So the situation is clear. England are not in crisis, but they are not cruising either. And Bellingham's interview captured that mood perfectly. A Player of the Match award should have been a bright moment. Instead, it became a brutally honest snapshot of England's night, good enough to avoid defeat, but not sharp enough to win. In the end, Jude Bellingham's BBC interview may be remembered more than the match itself. Because after a flat 0-0 draw, he did not make excuses. He did not over-celebrate an individual award. He did not ignore Ghana's performance. He stood there frustrated and honest and admitted that the Player of the Match honor probably belonged to the opposition. That is why the moment stood out. It showed pressure, it showed disappointment, but it also showed respect. England now move on with 4 points, one final group match to play, and a chance to finish top. But if they want to go deep in this World Cup, they will need more than possession. They will need sharper chances, better decisions in the final third, and more ruthlessness when the big moments arrive. Because against Ghana, England had control, but Ghana had the resistance. And Jude Bellingham, even while holding the award, knew exactly who deserved the applause. The road continues. Panama is next. And for England, the message is simple. Respond or risk turning frustration into something much bigger.